Hi, my name is David Ryan. I'm the co-founder and managing director of Corilla. Corilla is a collaborative technical writing tool for software documentation. One of the interesting things about Corilla is we didn't realize we were actually creating a startup. We were working down the road here in sunny Brisbane at a company called Red Hat, where as technical writers, we were frustrated with our tools and our workflows, so we made a better way of solving our own problem. This caught the attention of the founder of Red Hat, a gentleman by the name of Bob Young, who thought our story was quite funny, to be honest. Whilst he didn't necessarily suggest we leave the company, he indicated that this would be something that other companies could use. And when we did spin out of Red Hat and we got the courage to leave, he became our first angel investor. And a few weeks to a few months later, we found ourselves as the first international startup accepted into the Numa Sprint Accelerator in Paris, France. We were very excited to go to France and this inspiring city, and people always talk about Paris. You know, there's an excitement there. Sometimes when I do some talks, I show two photographs. One is the beauty of Paris. Remember, it's Paris, the city of lights. The other one is what I experienced, and it's a photo of me sitting in a corner of an accelerator in the heart of Santiago, where all the startups are, and it's just me surrounded by whiteboards, post-it notes, and looking tired. And look, I'll be honest, it was the hardest part of our journey so far. There's the running out of money, running out of sleep. As a first-time CEO, making all the mistakes, you know, being a little too firm, a little too stressed, a little too everything. But that's the advantage of two things. One, of being in an accelerator, having permission to fail. The other is being an Aussie. The Aussie network around the world has been amazing. The Aussie Mafia in San Francisco, Aussie.eu, emerging through Europe. There's something really special about our culture, and not just waving a flag, but when we go so far and come so far together, there's a real sense that we have a belonging with each other, and that pay it first, give first mentality. There's a good sense of mateship. One of the advantages of us having gone global immediately wasn't just the selling to a global market, it was the internationalization, understanding those markets. I was lucky that I had some experience at Red Hat where I set up a writing team in India for them. And this experience kind of stayed with me as a reminder that you think you're making a product, but you're making a product for your proximity. So part of what we did by going to where our customers were was also a chance to learn what their needs were. So the needs of the community in Helsinki, or in Finland in general, or the Nordics, was a little more precise and demanding than some of just the throughput volume we get from the Asia Pacific and India region. And of course, as we've been expanding through the US, which is obviously where our profit center comes from, it's been incredible to see that the attitude and the marketing, the bravado that we need there is very different from, say, the subtlety and I guess the logistics and the box ticking of parts of Asia. So I would thoroughly recommend, if not spending the amount of time that we did overseas, it's making sure you really understand that, one, you are making a global product. Hopefully you're making a global product. And two, that if you're going to do that, understand what global means. Get out there and find out who these people are and learn their needs. When we look back over the history of Corilla as a product and as our community, it's amazing to think that those first few customers and the first few developers that sort of came on board for our alpha was in Paris. We did a second version while we were in Finland. We did a version when we were struggling a little bit in London. You can imagine what that was like. But then our beta really took off. We hit 1,000 teams in over 80 countries. We had some pretty surprising support. That's when we had our first ever paying customer that wasn't just me pulling them in like hand over hand. But now we're back in sunny Queensland. We've actually come out of beta and had our launch. And suffice to say, with the platform, we've had the support from the community and everyone here. It's that momentum's really building, and the escape velocity we're having now we're home is kind of mind-blowing. So, like, as we record this now, it's probably the most exciting time for the company since the day we even started. It's very clear to say that the Queensland we have right now, the Brisbane we have here in mid-2017 is not the one we had in 2013, 2015. There is not just an excitement, but there's traction. There's people doing, pardon my language, cool shit. It's happening at a scale that we haven't seen before. So I'm very proud to be part of what I've heard people now call the boomerangs. Founders that started something locally, realized you need to go global from day one, and we pushed into different markets. So in my case, we pushed into Europe, where the ecosystem for us was a large number of open source software developers in that region. So we targeted that and had some early success. So as we've worked our way across Europe, including a very cold winter in Finland, now we come back to a very warm summer in Brisbane, and we realize, like, This is so exciting to see. Not only is this home, but this is home that feels like every other tech capital we've now been a part of. So there's something happening in Brisbane. You have super mentors like Peter Lurry, obviously the work that Steve Baxter did with River City Labs, and here today as we're sitting in the Precinct, which is this beautiful, stunning new facility backed by Advanced Queensland, it just blows my mind. But even more importantly, it's not the infrastructure, it's not the investors, it's nothing but the startups. And when I look at the talent coming through, like the Code Network, it's a university group. The founder of it's already been poached for a Techstars startup in LA. And the next generation are what I'm actually comfortably calling like the future of Australia's machine learning. I don't think people realize that this Brisbane cohort is the best machine learning epicenter in the country. So it's another reason for companies like mine to be here, just to take advantage of that upswell of momentum, because I've slept on enough floors. I think it's time to take advantage of like nice brick walls and fancy fittings for a while.